Righto, welcome back to the Maximum Cricket Podcast. This is a Patreon Power Play episode number 5. My name is Munter. We're joined by Lugsy and Jacko, of course. Boys, just quickly before we get on to some challenges and games and whatnot, we happy with the name Patreon Power Play? Lugsy, I know you weren't quite around when we were spitballing a few names. Are you happy with that name?
Yeah, that may be the first time I've actually heard and recognised it. I mean, you've put me on the spot. I always like alliteration, so I like it for now. I'll potentially have a wee think about it, though, over the coming hours and get back to you. It actually rolls off the tongue nicely. Power play incorporates the Gurk, obviously, so it's not. I actually think it's pretty good.
Happy enough. Well, keep it for now. Well, I reckon it's a placeholder where unless we can come up with something better, I think that's going to just do the job.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacko, how are you on a is it cold in Christchurch tonight? Because it's fucking cold
it's
in
rolled
Dunedin.
in. Yeah, storms rolled in. We got sort of home, drove home, and, the dark clouds were just sort of coming up towards Lincoln. So, really rolled in as the evening kicked on, but thankfully we were sort of home before anything cold happened, which was nice.
Yeah, nice. It's pretty fucking miserable here. I won't lie. Something that wasn't miserable or a touch miserable, depending on the moaning you heard, was the Ashes. Because that's going to be
from us,
just all camps, really. All camps. We're talking Aussies, Australians, and English, even. But the top 10 this week is around the Ashes cricket. Now, just a wee backstory. Fox Cricket, they were running this, promotion list where they counted down the 25 greatest Ashes players over the past 25 years. So I don't know if you've caught any of that, but they obviously, they started 25, they rolled it out, and eventually, I think last week they rolled out their number one Ashes player over the past 25 years. But that gave me a good idea, fellas, that this week our top 10 is the best players. Our top 10 is the best Ashes players from the last 25 years. Okay, so this is going to be our usual timer, our 60-second timer. I'm not going to give you any clues to start because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We've got two nations to pick from. At the 20-second mark, I'll give you a clue, and then at the 40-second mark, I'll give you another clue. Any questions, fellas?
Is this Fox's list we're regurgitating, or you've come up with the top 10?
Nah, it's Fox. It's Fox Cricket's list. I didn't really dig into it, so
Munter's gone rogue and just. I've got my best 10 in the south.
Yeah,
it's just completely different.
Wouldn't hate that. Just 10 blokes Munter thought played well in the Ashes in the last.
I'll give you.
It also means Munter would have to just do a lot of work.
Yeah, it's so much easier when there's already a list. So I'll give you one clue. Zach Crawley isn't there. Okay, so that's.
Ah, damn it! He was my first pick. And what about Kumar Sangakkara?
Unfortunately. Brilliant.
I'll get that off early just to make sure he's not on there.
Okay. Right. Just in 3, 2, 1, go.
Warren,
Cook.
Ponting.
Yeah, Warren, Ponting.
Warren, yes. Cook, yes. 1 and 4, respectively.
Ponting.
Ponting is your 6.
Mitchell Johnson.
Yeah. He's your 5.
Big Origin, big Ashes player.
Glenn McGrath.
Yes, he's your 3. So that's your first pause. You guys are rattling through this. So you've got Warren, you got McGrath, you got Cook, Johnson, Ponting. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 left. You got 4 left in 40 seconds. So I'm not going to give you any more clues until the 20-second mark. That's your clue because I think you're just killing it. Okay. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Have they thrown a key?
Stokes.
Stokes is your 10.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Neither of them are on.
Yeah,
Wow,
Anderson,
interesting.
not the best Ashes record, just quietly. Have they picked a keeper? Have we got a Gilchrist in there?
Gilchrist is your 7. And
Yeah. What about
pause. Up.
Matthew Hayden? Sorry.
I won't answer that question as it's outside your allotted time. So, what do we got? So you got one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you got 3 left in 20 seconds. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll give you a clue
Oh,
about
I've got one from.
each of them. Okay, we've
Boy.
got 2
Yes.
right-hand batters. 2 right-hand batters and an all-rounder.
Yeah,
Okay.
Matt
got all
Hayden
three.
famously left-handed.
I've got
Okay.
all 3, I reckon.
And 3,
Oh,
2, 1,
floor's
go.
yours.
Flintoff, Root.
Flint off your 8.
Yeah, Root's got to be there.
He's
and
not
Kevin
there.
Peterson. Wow.
Peterson not there. I think he's like
I
11.
was going to go
Oh.
KP as well. Root not
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I thought
Are we-
I'd nailed the last 3.
That would have been
Strauss.
tasty too.
No. That's time
Just
up.
stop
You guys
it.
put all your eggs in
Oh,
one
fucking
basket.
Michael Vaughan.
No. You didn't. Did you say you didn't say Steve Smith? Did you?
No, we didn't. We
No,
left him out.
never gave him any credit.
So
That
that's
was-
number
that's
2.
horrendous.
That's your second
a
best
howler.
Ashes. That's a big miss, and probably will get roasted.
That's a
rightfully
massive
so.
miss.
And
Oh,
at your
God, not this
9,
again.
Steve Waugh.
He
Oh,
played in the last 25 years?
great call.
He retired 2000. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. 2004.
Oh,
So he's
Yeah,
got
couple
4
of
years
years.
in there.
couple of
4 or
prime
5
Ashes
years in
series,
there.
probably. Yeah, Steve Smith's a bad miss.
Steve
That's
Smith's a bad one.
miss.
Steve Waugh's probably a worse
It was
one
like
for
when
me,
I mi-
more in my
It
age
was like when I
bracket.
missed. It was like when I missed Root off that Headingley 11 because it was just like, you almost forget about him because it's so obvious.
Or
You'll
it's
leave
like,
a couple in the back of your head to nail late, when the
Yeah.
mind's going a bit crazy, and then sometimes
you
you just
forget
clean
about it.
forget them.
Yeah, because you're thinking, oh, who Rogue is going to be there? No, Anderson, Broad, Kevin Peterson's interesting.
yeah, I'll give you the list. So where was? Gotta find the list. I'm pretty sure Kevin Peterson was like 11. Trying to find the bloody list.
He's but like one massive. If you go 10 like Ashes players that you think of, he's going to come to mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Peterson,
surprised Broad
Flintoff,
wasn't there.
Yeah,
Broad,
Broad's done
Anderson.
some work, man. Anderson, I'm not as surprised. I don't think Ashes has been his prime sort of test
Well,
cricket.
Anderson's 21st, so he
Yeah.
played 35 matches in the Ashes.
Yeah, he has done
112 wickets at 33. So it's not great. To be fair, I can't find the full list,
Who-
unfortunately.
Who was most surprising on the list out of memory?
It's a great question.
I think Steve Waugh was probably just because he didn't play as much.
Yeah. What's it done on, do you reckon? Is it just purely stats based or?
Let's have a look. What do they say?
'Cause
Just
I'd
celebrate
honestly-
they're counting down the 25 greatest cricketers from the past quarter century. For clarity, only they just said basically the best cricketers. They didn't really give any sort of
Good in that.
I'd actually love to get a bit of feedback from people our age and maybe slightly younger or older, and just like, if you think Ashes cricket, who springs to mind? Because I think Peterson, Flintoff, Warren, like
McGrath.
Lee, mate, there's some names that just
Lee.
spring to mind for Ashes cricket.
Clark
I
at
think, for people.
16, by the looks of it.
Yeah, Pup Clark, bit in that. Gilchrist, fastest 100
Yeah.
for a bit there. The Johnson Ashes.
Johnson is another
immediately
one.
springs to mind.
Yeah.
I think
Once you
Johnson
had
being
that
as
real-
high.
Yeah, but that to have a whole series known as like your Ashes series is pretty wild. Like 0809 is the Johnson Ashes, and it always sort of will be. No,
13, 14.
13. Yeah, 13 14, the Johnson Ashes. Like to have a whole series named after you because you just bowl gas, pretty good.
I mean, 37 wickets at like 13, and just like even Stuart Broad, and when he's retiring, he's talking about like I enjoyed every minute of it, and except for placing Mitchell Johnson at the Gabba.
Yeah.
Like he's
I
still.
mean, you retired a bloke.
He ended a
37
couple of
poles in a
careers. Yeah.
Right. Should we move on to the next segment? Lugsy, you've got a player in mind, and we've got 10 questions to nut it out. Is that right?
That's correct, mate. I am a wee bit worried. I'm gonna you're gonna throw a question at me, and I'm actually not gonna have answers. So I've got the player profile, up on Crick Info here. One of my favourites growing up, I think. Maybe Jacko. I'm sure you'll obviously be a fan, but maybe a couple of years out of your bracket. But we'll find out. A terrific player, definitely not as well known as Brett Lee, that you gave us, Jack. Oh no, you gave us McGrath.
Yeah.
Definitely not as well known as McGrath here. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah.
But a hell of a player, a hell of an entertainer.
Okay.
We've got the names springing to mind already.
Okay, so we've got an age bracket. Okay, so righto.
Yeah, I've given away a couple of things just quietly.
Can we just get into it? Can we just ask questions? Right, Jacko, what do you reckon? Let's should we go better bowl to start?
I reckon we ask who's played Ashes cricket first.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, okay. Ashes cricket.
Have they played Ashes cricket?
No, they have not.
Ooh.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
Already, well, they're definitely less well known because they're not playing Ashes cricket from the start. So, better we're talking a bowler.
I'll give you the all rounder.
Okay.
All rounder entertainer.
Hasn't played. Have they played? Oh, you go, Jacko.
Have they played? Are they from the subcontinent?
No.
Oh, I've got a name now.
I think I've got the country.
Yeah. You asked the country because I think I've got the same one.
Did they play for South Africa?
They did. They did.
Oh, what's a huge?
What's
that? Is that 4 questions? We're at 4 questions. So
it is 4 so far.
Okay, that's good. All right, Jacko, I reckon with
I think I've got a name, Munter. Can I have a wee crack at a name?
Yeah, have a punt.
You want to solve?
Yeah, Sean Pollock.
Yeah, that's not. Oh, that's not Sean Pollock.
I would have put my house on Sean Pollock. Honestly.
We're not. I'll tell you now, not quite as well known as our Sean. I was thinking
Sean Pollock. I was thinking Sean Pollock before I said South Africa. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, great player. I do love Sean Pollock, man. I love Sean Pollock.
It can't be.
We chatted about how much you love Sean Pollock too.
Yeah, I know. Do you think he's led us
Anyone
down the
that could
garden
bowl
path?
that slow and do that well?
Do you think he's led us down the garden path by saying he's not well known, but he's an all rounder, and it's actually callous, and he's like he's just like sleight of hand the whole time.
I'll tell you now.
Never heard of this guy. He's a real niche sort of player. You don't even know.
Oh, you guys heard of? Are you heard of Jacko?
Okay.
Okay. So we've hit half our questions.
Yeah, I'm thinking let's get the era. Let's get the era. So,
yeah.
Did he play in the '99 World Cup?
Yes.
Okay. 6. Do I want to take another stab? Because I think I've got it. I think I've got it.
Yeah. Have a stab.
Is it Lance Klusener?
That's Lance.
Yes.
Zulu.
That's a tough one. That's actually quite hard. Yeah. We've actually done well. It's 7 questions.
You have done well to get that in 6.
It's not bad.
Just a huge fan of his growing up. I think obviously, first thing you see, wall number 69. I was going to throw that at you. Any player that's just rogue enough to do that is good in my books. But we're growing up, man. Huge header of the ball, bowled right, had a bit of a funny action as well, which you could copy in the backyard. So when you wanted to change a bowler, you change the action. You're Lance Klusener. Huge fan of his growing up.
We've got the Lance Klusener episode coming up soon. Surely he comes on.
I don't mind. I think that's actually an option for our Patreon going forward, the odd player profile. Spend 20 minutes on a bloke.
Yeah, just a real rogue selection of what you
Post
remember
the
about
team
them. Because
questions.
what
Yeah.
Lance Kluse's definitely, he's quite, I don't really have a lot of core memories on Lance Kluse because
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking,
remember a thing about him, to be fair.
but I'm thinking my memories is like 99 World Cup and
Massive hitter.
like just he had a massive tournament and he obviously that semi-final is going to be remembered for a lot of different reasons, but he almost won that game for them. Like he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Choked
He
though.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that potentially, like all the time, people said he wasn't maybe quite as good as he could have been, but his record's actually pretty handy. Played a bit of Test cricket as well. Probably didn't adapt quite as well to that, but
What's his test
smoked
record?
the ball. Oh, I don't have it offhand, man. I'm not
Okay,
the.
all right. I thought he had that player profile.
Oh, yeah, I do. I've got it. Yeah, I do. 40, like he got to 49 Test matches. Average of 30. It's not bad for an all-rounder, quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Bad.
80 wickets. Best of 8 for 64 too. Good player.
In Test cricket,
Oh, shit, yeah.
who's he taking 8 against? Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I don't want to go through that, but
Actually, Zimbabwe was pretty sharp back then, to be fair. Yeah.
you know what's quite interesting is best bowling in his innings is 8 for 64 and his best bowling in a match is 8 for 139. So they figured him out. They figured him out in that second innings. Couldn't get one.
Imagine having an 8 for and not a 10 for.
Yeah, that hurts actually.
Not even
that's
a
a bit
9
on
for?
the record, isn't it? Yeah.
Not even to get to 9.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on Lance Kluse, or should we move on to the blind rankings?
Oh, I don't know. If anyone listening out there's got any memories of the great man, fire them through.
Yeah, fire through some player suggestions for the guess the player, like the rogue of the better would be great.
I think he's done pretty well to get that in 6 quietly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you might forget rogue. It's
there.
actually a lot hard. It's actually you can narrow it down quite quickly if you get on the right path. So you did give us a lot at the start, so we didn't have to. We didn't really have to use any questions on error because you kind of gave it to us.
Yeah.
So
I won't be doing that next time.
As soon as you said no to Sean Pollock, I would never have got Lance Kluse.
Yeah, wait till I go that
part,
newcomer.
I think because he's an all-rounder that you gave us all-rounder as well, like narrows the field down dramatically.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. Righto, let's do our next segment. I wanted to do something for Stuart Broad, who obviously retired in the last Ashes Test match. And in particular, the partnership that Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad developed, because we unfortunately will no longer see those two play a test or share a new ball together. We're going to run a blind rankings challenge. So basically, I have tracked down the top 5 tests played by a duo in Test cricket. And the game's pretty simple. I'll give you a duo at random of that top 5, and you two have got to rank it 1 to 5 without knowing who's next. Any questions?
Oh,
Is it just test wins or
no, just matches,
records?
Like just tests together.
Oh, played the most tests together.
Yeah, played the most together. Okay. All right. I'll give you your first one. Are you ready? We'll start with Jimmy and Broad.
I don't reckon they're number 1, no.
Nah, there's got to be some. There's got to be some combos that involve. Like Jimmy's been around forever. I was going to say there's got to be a batting combo, but Jimmy's actually outlasted most batsmen as well. So
should maybe just put them at 2.
Yeah, they're going to be damn hard to beat because no one plays as much cricket as they do now as well.
Nah, but they have been alternating resting a bit.
Yeah, but they do play 900 tests a year, and everyone else plays 2.
That's true. Maybe.
I think
No, I think 2 or 1.
Yeah, surely, man. But yeah, I reckon. Do we lock in 2 for starters? And
just lock in 2 because in case
is this not something? Is this not something we would have heard about all Ashes?
Yeah,
we missed this.
You might have. Okay, so you've locked them in at 2. Okay, your next pair is Jimmy Anderson again with Alistair Cook.
I reckon that could be one. They would have played so many tests.
Yeah, Cook's played.
Oh, but-
yeah, I'm with you,
But
man.
Broad's played longer.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
like as you said, they did rest a bit,
Yeah,
and Cook would have never missed the test Anderson played. With his Broad, they would have mixed a bit.
yeah.
Cook
and
retired in
Anderson's played that many.
2018 to give you like some context.
Yeah,
so
that is.
Well, Anderson only been playing Test cricket for 16 years at that point. So, I suppose this spot probably going to be one, don't they?
Just a spring chook, only 16 years in.
Yeah.
Right, give me a number.
Yeah,
So
we'll
what
go-
have we got?
we got
them
them at
one.
Yeah.
You know, one?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, this is going to blow things out the water. Your next pair, Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid.
Yeah, here's a problem because we can't put them any higher than 3.
Yeah, they could be 0.
This is Look, they could be champion, and then we just have contenders from there. So champion 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they'll probably end up being 1, but they can't be any lower than 3. So we've got to just go 3 for them, don't we?
Yeah, which
I do not. When we were talking those last 2, I thought there'll be an Indian combo of batters that played forever together. And Munter's just snuck one in straight away. Yeah, but they're going to be 3, don't they?
I'll give you another one. Rahul Dravid and VVS Laxman.
Yeah. There only would have been some crossovers. I don't reckon they would have played their whole careers together. So give them 4.
I was going to say, let's just go rogue and give them 5 because we don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. All right. I like it.
One to come.
surely
One more to come.
Munter hasn't gone the worst combo last, like in order, you know?
So Peter Ingram and John McGlinchey.
The next one is like Hamish Rutherford and Brendan McCullum.
So all we can do is put this team 4, can we?
Yeah, so your number 5 is Jacques Callis and Mark Boucher.
No, they're our number 4.
They're number 4. Sorry, you're right. Okay, so the actual list.
Can I give you what I think the list is?
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
I think that's what we just did.
Okay, we'll hear the full list.
Okay, at number 5,
is
Alistair Cook and Jimmy Anderson with 130. Wow. So that hurts you.
Pardon the pun.
Number 4, Rahul Dravid and VVS Laxman at 132. Number 3, Jacques Callis and Mark Boucher with 137. Number 2, Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad with 138. So you pinned it right at the start. You started well. And number 1, Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid 146.
I am glad it's not like we were wrong a bit there, but at least they were close numbers. I'm glad it wasn't like one had 52 tests and we had pinned them 1.
Yeah, it's quite close, like 5-4 there. Like 5-2, sorry. Those 4 test players, like all very close.
Yeah, it's tough. So Lugsy, you want to talk a bit more about Jimmy and Broad, because that was one of the special sort of partnerships, like up there with your McGrath and Warren sort of combos, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I was more actually talking about sort of Broady, I guess, individually, and I think because a lot of people obviously were hoping, or not hoping, but sort of thought it would be fitting if Anderson went out on with Broad in that last test. Sort of can't imagine a better way for them to go out together, but I did like that Broad got his moment, because I feel like over the years they have been sort of lumped together a bit, and maybe Anderson, being the kingpin most of the times, got maybe a touch more credit than Broad. So I just thought it was great for Broad to be able to go out by himself, have that whole stadium just going nuts for him, and sort of him get his moment without Anderson there. I'm sure Broad would have loved it with Jimmy there retiring as well, but I did think Broad deserved his moment.
Yeah, like for all the times he sort of revs up the crowd and also like winds up the Aussies, he kind of deserved his like stage for one last test. You know, that's kind of what he's a performer. That's Stuart Broad.
Yeah, I think there's a lot, like we could do with a few more characters in cricket, I reckon. Like, guys that aren't afraid to sort of, yeah, as you say, really entertain and involve the crowd during the games. Most of the stuff that goes on with cricket sort of it's normally like the off-field stuff isn't the most positive with characters. So he's a pretty positive character with what he does on the field and everything. So I think we could do with a few more of those.
Yeah, 100%. Jacko, what are you going to miss most about Broad and Anderson?
Yeah, I think it's just that not knowing if Broad's getting his tail up on a certain day. I suppose we sort of talked about it in the main pod. Just hit him tail up and him's a left-hander. It's just like elite. So that 8 against Aussies springs to mind, like just unstoppable. And I think when you've got a bowler that's like you never know going into a day's cricket. Like I'd love to see if Broad gets going, we're a chance. Like that's sort of what people would have been thinking on that last day. And just missing that will be a shame. And as you said, he was sort of public enemy number one for a while and lived up and played up to that sort of villain role and seemed to enjoy it. So Ollie Robinson's trying to fill those boots poorly so far, but hopefully there's someone that can back it up. But you miss that entertainer and someone like happy to take on that moniker of public enemy number one and really live up to it. So great career, and as you said, quite touching for them to go out separately. I think would have been pretty tough for Anderson to be going out on the other day with sort of Broad taking those last 2 wickets. Massive moment for him, and then Anderson's like, "Oh, remember me, guys? Like, I'm going out too." So I think Anderson probably wants one more good series before he hangs it up. He probably feels like he's got at least one in him. So nice for them to go have such a big career together, but go out separately, as Crom said.
Where do you guys, when you initially hear their names, where do you sort of, as individuals, how far do you have Anderson a wee bit ahead, slightly ahead? Do you have Broad ahead?
It's funny because I was thinking about this like yesterday, and it's like you almost discredit them individually because they're Broad and Anderson.
That can happen.
I was thinking of like my top seamers ever, and I wouldn't like off the top of my head have them either of them potentially in my top 5. But as a duo, I'd probably have them at 4. Or like 4 and 3 as the best bowling duos ever. But they just, I don't know if it's just taken away from their individual efforts. Like nothing can. But like that Broad and Anderson combo has always been the focus versus how good they actually are individually.
I think it's because I think over the course of the career, I think Anderson's probably better. But I think when Stuart Broad's on one, I think that version of Stuart Broad is up there with any bowler of all time. Like when he's got his tail up and he's got the crowd going, like it's just undescribable. I can't think of a bowler that can do that.
No, not even close, really. If you're trying to think of someone.
Anything else, boys? Do you want to, or shall I wrap up now?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Nothing from me.
Sweet as. Right, team, thanks again for joining us. Give us a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you want that audio-only action, check us out on Patreons to support the cause. Right, fellas, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, just